Well, studio, we're pleased to welcome now Jimmy Failla, host of Fox News Saturday Night with Jimmy Failla and host Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla. Hey, Jimmy, big fan. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
This is a big deal. I wore my NASA jacket for you.
I see that.
You know what the issue is, Gerard? I wanted to be an astronaut, but I was too fat growing up. So this is my Arrested Development playing itself out on camera. And thank you for supporting me through this crisis.
Well, it sounds like we need a little bit more diversity and inclusion at NASA. So, isn't that right?
We just need to get the space capsules back from space. Let's start there, and then we can figure out how to cast this movie.
Well, Jimmy, I announced this morning to the audience that I took one for the team last night and tuned in to the entirety of the DNC. It was just speech after speech. What about you? Did you catch any of it? What do you think?
Yeah, well, two things. I, like you, I had to watch it because I hate myself, apparently. But no, we knocked the DNC, but it's actually the highest streaming show in Guantanamo Bay right now. Because now that you can't waterboard people, you just show them 5 hours of AOC screaming in a fake accent. I mean, I'm sure you touched on this, but that's the party of joy. Like I was promised joy, okay? And the only joy to be had was at 12:38 when I shut off my TV. That's when the joy is. It was crazy.
Well, what did they do to keep Mr. Biden up so late? I mean, that was way past his bedtime, right? He was still speaking late into the evening.
Think about this. If they would have shot him up with those drugs at the debate, he would have been there to accept the nomination. Like, if he had that much fire, if he had that much, he was off about a lot of things. He had his usual ways where he lost his train of thought, but he looked a lot more formidable than he did at the debate. So this one's on the White House drug dealer who apparently gave him a bad dose June 27th. That part was crazy. And I mean, though in his defense too, though, you'd be in a cranky mood if you waited 5.5 hours to go on stage also.
Well, they said he arrived like at 3 o'clock and was supposed to be wheels up like at 12:30. I think he was still on the stage when the wheels were supposed to be up.
Yeah, the best part of that, obviously, was them chanting, "We love Joe." I'm like, yes, you love him so much you kicked him out of the race.
That's why they love him.
But that's what I mean. He was at the DNC for about the same length of time the migrants were at Martha's Vineyard. They're like, "Oh, we love this people. Come on down. You gotta go. You gotta go right now. There's a bus outside. Wrap it up." That's all that was missing. Is the no frills.
And what
cereal.
about Jimmy? What about the sea of "We love Joe" signs all over the place? You ever see anything like that? They're like 40 feet high. How'd they get all those in there?
Yeah, it is amazing. Well, Democrats, that's the one thing, though, is under this administration, they're good at making signs because the fastest growing job sector is paid protester. So their sign game is actually on point. That's the one thing they have going for them is signs and people willing to hold signs. They don't even know what they're talking about. I mentioned this the other night. I've been to some of these pro-Hamas protests, okay? Half of these guys at these protests, Gerard, think Gaza Strip is a gentleman's club. They have no idea. They have no idea.
That's awesome. So did you happen to catch Hillary Clinton? Isn't she something? Did you happen to catch her?
That was great. And she, Hillary is she's like a political stray cat we fed once and it won't go away. She just keeps coming back to the door. I don't know if you caught this, but the song she walked out at the end of the night, that was her campaign song that she walked off stage to after accepting the nomination in 2016. So she is, I joked about myself playing out a fantasy in a NASA jacket. Like, she was there to accept the nomination last night. I was half betting that she was going to just say it and see if she could get away with it. And that's who they are. It's this party of people that have this craven lust for power, but it's blinded them to self-awareness. They don't realize how crazy they sound. Again, they're saying they're running on joy. We're surrounded by protesters and abortion vans. And by the way, vasectomy on demand, which at this convention, half the people in line for the vasectomy are women. I don't know what I'm watching. Okay? but they don't know how crazy it looks to everybody else. It's like, you've said this, I've said this. They're all up there promising to solve all of these problems that they created. So it's like, if you're voting for Kamala, you're basically voting for OJ to find the real killers.
Well, what about the UAW president wearing the Trump is a scab shirt?
Yeah. I love that, because the best part of that is he gets up there and he goes, the American workers are fed up. And I go, dude, you're endorsing the party they're fed up under. Does anybody, that's what I mean. It's like, it's so emotional for these people because that's all they're selling us. And when you're in a place of emotion, you don't realize how crazy you sound to calm people who are on the couch. And that's the part I thought was so fascinating. Everybody is going to solve every problem in the world, except they're the ones who started the problem. So I don't know what to tell you, man.
Did you catch when the camera, Jimmy, panned over the audience there? Some folks just, I don't know. I don't want to be critical of anybody's looks, but, I mean, some of those people had like 1,000 earrings and nose rings and stuff. It's like they're aggrieved, and then they gravitate to this party for some reason. I mean, it's just, and all the crazy outfits and hats and stuff.
Oh, believe me, and as you know, I'm a former New York City cab driver, so I know my way around a weirdo, okay? I know my way around a carnival attraction, a time traveler, a hobbit. I've met things, okay? Anybody who tells you we don't have life on other planets has never driven a taxi in New York City, okay? That being said, I watched, as you did last night, at this, they have this class of professional victims now, where it's cool in their party to say, like, I've been aggrieved, Yeah. But the truth is, every one of their adversities is manufactured. If you live here and you have actual basic gratitude for the opportunities we've been afforded as Americans, you would be, if you genuinely felt that gratitude that a lot of us feel, you wouldn't have the audacity to complain about anything. And that's who the Democratic Party attracts nowadays. It's rich kids who don't know how good they have it. Growing up, everybody knows the kid that was in that one house, that had the house was 8 times the size of yours. They had like an indoor-outdoor swimming pool, but they were complaining about everything. I'm like, dude, we're 3 houses down, peeing on each other for heat in the Failla house, but go on about how the strobe light in your pool didn't work on time, And they don't have self-awareness, and that's what it is.
So what about this just constant provoking of class warfare? I was talking about it earlier. Sean Fain, the UAW guy, if he said greed one time, he said it 100 in 5 minutes. Yeah. They live on this. If you make a profit, it's greed.
Yeah, and again, that's another thing that drives me crazy because it's a workaround to problems they cause. If the cost of groceries right now was attributable to just corporate greed, like what is it about this administration that suddenly made these corporations greedy? And you know that, and I know that. Yeah. The root cause, to use their term, is of their energy policy, which made everything more expensive to ship. And then, of course, they flooded the market. Too many dollars chasing too few goods. But if you get out there and demonize somebody, it takes away the onus from you for contributing to the problem. So it's like, you look at it like class warfare works for them because a lot of what the Democrats gravitate towards is a moral superiority. Hey, we're better people than those rich folks, okay? And that's so much of the pitch they're making. But the people donating to them are the rich folks. Like, that's the point. You're about to watch a week of celebrities tell you the economy's great because the economy is great. If you're making $30 million a movie, okay. But if I'm sitting over here telling me how great the economy is. I'm selling pictures of my wife's feet to pay the rent right now because the taxes are so high. And they're not even her feet, they're my feet. I'm just using her profile picture. But the point is, real people don't feel the way celebrities do.
It's just unbelievable. I was having that same thought. The rest of the week, we're going to see all these multi-$10 and $100 million celebrities stroll across that stage and tell you how your life sucks, but they're going to make it better.
It's joy, Gerard. It's joy.
Well, a lot of folks looked awfully joyful, but people are crying when Hillary Clinton. I saw the camera pan across the folks that were like wiping the tears from their eyes. How could they be so endeared to this person?
This is the weird thing, man. It's like for them, this means more to them than it does to us. And what I mean by that is, if somehow a Democrat won the election and the country did well, we would actually be okay if we were thriving and people were thriving.
True.
We might even say, well, I was wrong about that. They don't have that in them because it's personal for them.
Yeah,
okay?
I totally agree.
Yeah, like Fox, we book liberals at Fox and let them articulate their viewpoints and argue with them and laugh with them and all of that. They can't do that at the other channel because they hate us too much. So
No doubt.
a Republican on MSNBC really is like a chicken that works on the board at Popeye. Okay? They're not there for the other chicken.
We so appreciate you joining us today, Jimmy. Thanks a lot, man. Really do enjoy your work. Good talking to you.
The best, Gerard. See you soon, brother.
We're coming right back in the Element Wealth